So I was thinking about doing my top anticipated films for 2018 like I do every year, and I thought, why not go back and watch my top 20 most anticipated films of 2017 video and compare my expectations to how those films actually panned out, assuming I'd seen enough of them. And I had. There's only 2 films on my top 20 list from last year that I didn't get to see, so there's a fair bit to talk about. I'll try and rattle through it as quickly as possible, and then later on this week I'll have a top 20, maybe top 10 most anticipated films for me for 2018. So let's get right into it and kind of revisit my most anticipated films from 2017. First up, I had 5 honorable mentions, and the first one was the Lego Batman movie. I said that I was intrigued to see if it would hold up on its own terms with Batman. I loved the Lego movie and the Batman character within it, but wasn't sure how that would translate to a feature film. I also said I wouldn't see it in the cinema, which I didn't. And I saw it and I really loved it, in fact more than the Lego movie. Then we have Wonder Woman, which I was quite intrigued about. I said I wouldn't go rush out to see it, but that's exactly what I did. It came out and I rushed to go and see it. Me and Connie went to see it in the cinema and I loved it. It really surprised me. I thought it was going to be pretty good because I liked Gal Gadot in Batman v Superman and thought that she could be pretty good in her own movie. She turned out to be much more than that. I feel like Gal Gadot is to Christopher Reeve, you know, being Superman, just perfectly embodies this character. Not that I have any history with the Wonder Woman character, but she seems to just really evoke this pureness that I thought was just so charming, and I thought she was great in the film, and I thought the film was very good as well. So the honorable mention there actually turned out to be one of my favorites of 2017 in the kind of middle section. Not quite, you know, one of the best of the year, but one of the ones I really enjoyed a lot. Then there's The Mummy, which I didn't get to see. Surprise, surprise. I said that I love Tom Cruise and his fun brand of just big action movies. I wasn't too excited about it, but it was definitely one to mention that I was looking forward to seeing. Never got to see it. It got trashed. I'll probably still see it at some point, but it is what it is. Cars 3. Loved the first Cars movie. The second Cars movie is easily Pixar's worst film. But I was intrigued to see if it was going to bring that quality back, and for me it did. I really loved Cars 3. It surprised me, and I thought it was a really good film. And Coco. It hasn't come out yet. So it didn't come out in 2017. At least, I don't know about the UK. Here in Norway, at least, it hasn't even come out yet. So, I don't know. I was looking forward to it, but it's not out yet. But I said I was excited to see more original Pixar films and was hoping we moved away from The Incredibles 2, Toy Story 4. Like, I want to see more original stuff like Inside Out. And apparently Coco is very good. It's gotten great reviews. So I'm very much looking forward to it, and you'll probably hear me talk about it on the most anticipated films of 2018 now, so it's rolling over for a year. I ended up forgetting to put Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 on my list altogether, but I was really looking forward to it. You know, I enjoyed it. It was good. Saw it again for a second time, and it's, you know, there's a lot of great things about it, but overall, not so much. And someone asked, and I want to talk about the comments on the video before I get to the top 20 list and kind of my thoughts on them now. On the video, my top 20 most anticipated films of 2017 that I posted, there was a couple of comments saying, why haven't you put Trainspotting 2 on your list, you know, and I just hadn't seen the first one, really. I saw the first Trainspotting when it came out a few years after it came out on TV, probably when I was a kid. Far too young to understand it, so I need to go back and properly watch it before I watch the second one, and I haven't done that yet, but I want to in the next couple of months, so that's that. And then also someone said, did you purposefully miss out Justice League? And my response is, no, I didn't purposely leave off Justice League. And that's about right for what I thought about the film, I think. So into the top 20 list from last year. Number 20, Free Fire. Haven't seen this one. I was really looking forward to it because of the cast and it being a British film. It had a bit of a buzz about it, but think around to seeing it, and I probably will at some point, very soon actually. Number 19, The Fate of the Furious. I said that I think they should have left it at number 7. Seems like they're grasping at straws, and I think the shark will truly be jumped in this film, but I was looking forward to just the big spectacle of it. And it delivered on that front, but it definitely felt like they were grasping at straws, and it definitely felt like the shark was completely jumped. It was hop, skipped, and jumped. It was, yeah, they should have left it at the 7th one. It was a perfect ending, an unfortunate ending, but I don't think they should have continued. Number 18, Beauty and the Beast. I kind of tied my anticipation with this in with my one of my earliest memories in my life, going to see the original Beauty and the Beast when I would have been about 3 years old. I liked the cast, but I have been a bit wary of this clip that was released online of Emma Watson singing, and it sounded really auto-tuned and awful. that kind of remained in the film, but for the most part she was pretty good, and I was really taken with it. I thought it was a really great film. I know a lot of people really didn't like it, especially people who are so purist about the original animated film that they just will not accept this remake, this live action remake, and were very offended by it. I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought the musical aspect was very powerful, and it was done well. I really enjoyed it. Number 17, The Space Between Us. I was intrigued by the plot of the first human born on Mars, this boy who then comes to Earth, and I was intrigued just to see the next big science fiction movie, but it really wasn't that. It was a bit of a weird one, The Space Between Us. It felt like it should have been a lot better, but it wasn't bad. I think a lot of people thought it was bad, and I can see why, but I really enjoyed it, but it wasn't great. Number 16, Murder on the Orient Express, the final film I haven't seen yet. Really wanted to, just didn't have a chance to go see it. When it comes out on Blu-ray, I'll definitely check it out. I love the cast. It got middling reviews, which was unfortunate, because I thought with that cast and with Kenneth Branagh directing, it seemed a surefire, at least really good film. Apparently not so much, but I'm still intrigued to check it out for myself. Number 15, The Red Turtle. I just thought it looked fantastic and was really intrigued by the silent aspect of it with no dialogue, and that really delivered. I thought The Red Turtle was fantastic, and it's in my top 10 of the year. Although I watched a film yesterday that kind of might push it out of my top 10. But regardless, The Red Turtle was a masterpiece of 2017 and just a fantastic film all around. Number 14, Kong Skull Island. I can't believe I put this above The Red Turtle. It's interesting to see the list now in terms of importance, and now knowing, you know, what I thought of all these films. It's kind of cool doing this. I'm enjoying this. So it looked intriguing with the biggest King Kong we'd ever seen before. Big, fun CGI fest, and a really good cast as well with like Brie Larson, Tom Hiddleston, and so on. Yeah, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't very memorable to me. It was very okay, you know. Didn't really love it. Number 13, John Wick Chapter 2. I'll leave that one in for free. Loved the first one. Really surprised me, and I was excited for the second one and was hoping that they keep the same level at least of action, and I think they did. In fact, there might even be a few sequences in John Wick Chapter John Wick Chapter. I'll leave that one in for free as well. John Wick Chapter 2, that maybe even were better action sequences than in the first John Wick film. But overall, I found myself a little numb to it. The story didn't grab me. The action scenes were incredible, but I just wasn't that gripped by the story. And it's not just because there wasn't a dead dog to deal with and to drive the emotions. I just it felt very through the motiony. You know, I thought it was great action film, but yeah, nothing truly stand out. Much prefer the first film. Number 12, Spider-Man: Homecoming. Like Tom Holland as Spider-Man in Civil War, and was intrigued to see if he could hold a film by himself. I think he could. And was most excited to see Michael Keaton, and he definitely delivered the most memorable part of that film, which was as the villain, the Vulture. Loved Spider-Man: Homecoming. 11, Split, the M. Night Shyamalan film. I was looking forward to it for James McAvoy, one of my favourite actors. Didn't look like it was going to be a great film, but it would have a great performance. But it actually had a great performance and was a great film. I thought the main girl who's kidnapped, did a phenomenal job in the film, acting-wise, and it was just so gripping, one of my favourites of 2017. Didn't love the ending, though, but overall it was really, really good. Number 10, Valerian. I thought it was obviously reminiscent of Fifth Element from Luc Besson. Didn't look like it was going to be a great film, but it looked like it was going to be fun, and a big sci-fi film that's different, that isn't Star Wars or Star Trek or whatever, or a Marvel movie, like Guardians of the Galaxy. And that's exactly what it delivered. It was fun, it was big, it was different, and you know, it was flawed in places, but I loved it, and it was in my top 20 of the year, and was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Delivered on many things. I loved Valerian. Number 9, The Discovery. I loved the concept of the film, that a man proves the existence of the afterlife, and I loved the lead actors, Jason Segel and Rooney Mara. We watched it in last year's 24-hour movie marathon, and it was fairly disappointing. Still a very good film, but it could have done a lot more with the concept. I felt like it didn't quite hit the mark, but I still really liked it and thought it was good. Just a lot of things were like, I don't know about that. Number 8, Thor Ragnarok. Couldn't wait for this one. Loved the other Thor movies. Loved Chris Hemsworth as Thor, and just the feel of those films. Was looking forward to seeing an extension of that. And at the point that I did that video a year ago, there wasn't really much information about Thor Ragnarok. Definitely no trailers, so I didn't really know where it was going to go. I don't think I was even aware that Taika Waititi was directing it. So that wasn't really a surprise to me, because by the time the film was released, I'd seen the trailers, gotten more excited about it, knew what it was going to probably be like, and it kind of delivered on that. But Thor Ragnarok definitely over-delivered. It's probably my favourite Marvel film. Number 7, Baby Driver, Edgar Wright, sold. You got me in the door with Edgar Wright, and at that point again we didn't know much about the film, but that was one of my favourites of the year too. Absolutely love Baby Driver, and interestingly enough, quite a few people recently have come out and really hated the film. I can get not enjoying it, but hating it just seemed a bit like, how is that even possible? But hey, we all have opinions, and I think Baby Driver commits to a stylistic choice. So again, it commits to it so much that I think if you don't like it, then you're gonna hate it. So I guess I can see where people are coming from there, because if you're not jiving with what Baby Driver's giving, it's really gonna rub you the wrong way for the entire film. Number 6, Logan. I loved The Wolverine from James Mangold, and so I felt safe in the hands of this director continuing the series, but also ending the series as far as Hugh Jackman was concerned. The first trailer had come out and I loved it. It just looked fucking incredible. And it felt like it was going to be a more intimate scale story, which it was. And I felt that it would be probably an appropriate and personal ending to Hugh Jackman's run as Wolverine/Logan, and it definitely was that. Was in my top, I think, 3 of the year. Absolutely fucking loved Logan. That really delivered. Number 5 was Dunkirk. I thought I'd have more fun with films like Logan and Thor, but I felt like Dunkirk would be a much better film. And I was excited by Nolan doing a war film, and his track record was so good that I just couldn't see him slipping up now, and he definitely didn't. Dunkirk was a great film, but definitely was outside of my top 20 of the year. I loved it, thought it was great, it was huge, it was awesome, it was a big spectacle, told a really cool and powerful story, but ultimately it just it didn't click with me on that kind of like 5-star level, you know. It's still great, but it just wasn't as great as a lot of people thought it was. For me, personally. That's just, you know, that's it really. So I think I was expecting a bit more, hoping for a bit more, but I still thought it's one of those things where it's a great film, but it's not better than a bunch of other films I saw. That's pretty much all it boils down to, really. It's an interesting one. When it's been a year that a film like Dunkirk is outside of my top 20, that's a pretty fucking good year, I have to say. Number 4, Blade Runner 2049. Didn't know how this would even work, if it would follow Deckard's story closely at all. All we knew at that point was that Harrison Ford was attached and that Ryan Gosling was going to be in it, and that Denis Villeneuve was going to be directing it, which really excited me. And I said that if they can pull off The World again, at least, it'll be a stunning film visually. And I was really amped up for it. And I was right to be. Like, it just over-delivered. Like, it really stands head and shoulders with the original, which I think is just crazy that even happened. Number 3, Alien Covenant. I was so hyped for this film, and I definitely think that I was carried away with the marketing, where the film was called Alien Covenant. Now I've seen it, and I've seen it twice. I think that it would have been cool if they just called it Covenant. You know, because it's definitely a Prometheus sequel. It doesn't feel like an Alien movie to me, and that's just fine. I loved Prometheus for the most part, and was very excited for this being an Alien movie, and I was also really looking forward to seeing Danny McBride, and he really delivered. I think most people who had problems with the film at least said that, yeah, Danny McBride was actually pretty good in the film. So he delivered, but yeah, I still really enjoyed it. It's about a 4 out of 5 for me, but yeah, it definitely disappointed in terms of how big my expectations were, clearly it being number 3 on the list. Number 2, War for the Planet of the Apes. The bar I felt was set so high with Dawn for Planet of the Apes, which is one of my favourite films ever. I was intrigued to see if it would even match the quality of Dawn, and if they tied the story up or continue it, and they very much tied it up with War for the Planet of the Apes, and it very much was on level with Dawn for the Planet of the Apes for me, maybe even a little bit better. I still prefer Dawn as a favourite, but War for the Planet of the Apes was just incredible. And as you can see, towards the kind of the top tier of my anticipated films, Logan, Thor, Blade Runner, War for the Planet of the Apes, they were all like in my top 10 of the year. And then of course number 1 was The Last Jedi. Enough said, really. I don't need to go into it anymore. I've got a whole series talking about Star Wars, but I did say that my main hope was that they do something different, and they surprised me, because it felt like it was going to be a bit like Empire Strikes Back, with Luke training Rey and the other characters off on an adventure and stuff. And I hope that they would surprise me and do something different. At this point, a year ago, nothing had been shown. We knew nothing, basically, about the film. So there we go. Let me know about your anticipation of films in 2017 and how they turned out differently. Like, I don't want to hear if you say, oh, I was really looking forward to Dunkirk and it was great, you know. I mean, that's fine, but tell me if there's a film you were really looking forward to and it didn't quite hit the mark, or if there was a film that you had low expectations for and it far exceeded what you were expecting. I'd love to hear those kind of comments if you have any for films from 2017. So there we go, that's my top 20 most anticipated films of 2017 revisited and reflected upon. Pretty much all of my favourite films were represented in the list. Moonlight, you know, was in my top 10, but that one was kind of in the haze of the Oscar season. Is it a 2017 film? Is it a 2016 film? For me, it came out in 2017, and it was great. I loved it, so it went into the list. There were surprises like My Life as a Courgette, a French or Belgian stop-motion animated film, which was nominated for an Oscar and just incredible. Made my top 10. A Japanese film, Close Knit, which just came out of nowhere as well. So, but for the most part, my favourite films are, I mean, I know my tastes, I guess, and what I'm going to enjoy. But at least I can say with Alien Covenant being really high on my anticipated list that it didn't ultimately deliver and was nowhere near my top 20 of the year. So, yeah, that's it. Look forward to my top something anticipated films of 2018. It doesn't feel like that there's many, to be honest. I'm going to have to really look and see what's coming out this year. It feels nowhere near as stacked as 2017 for me personally. But I could find some surprises and go, oh, that's coming out this year. Awesome. So, I mean, at the top of my head, there's only about 5 films I can even think of that I'm really looking forward to. And none as much as Logan, Blade Runner, Star Wars, War for the Planet of the Apes. Big year last year. So, yeah, there you go. I'll leave it at that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
He's alright by me. Apart from the fact he throws cans of Carlin into a tree. Yeah, he's really cool. Yeah, he's really cool. But he's not quite as cool as you.